Yes, I think we are live on YouTube.
ठीक है.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to another Positive Exhibition. And this time here with some very special learners and special guests from around the globe. So the camp is all about AI automation, level 1, and the learner has completed level 1 on the AI automation tool Anatian. And first of all, let me introduce the learner. She's a Tech Woman mentor, very close to my heart, especially, and she has just completed the AI automation camp level 1 with us. So thank you, Alia, for being with us. It's a kind of honor for RISE to have you in this camp. Seriously.
My pleasure.
Yes, thank you. Next, we have the Zuhair. Next slide, please. Yes. Zuhair, next slide. Am I audible? मेरी आवाज ठीक आ रही है आप लोगों को?
जी.
Yes.
Yes. So we have a very special guest this time, Saima Mushtaq, and she is also a mentor for me. She is a CTO, co-founder, and AI system architect with over 20 years of experience. A Fast Nutrition graduate and a BSCS from Fast Nutrition and MSc from LUMS alumni with a 4 IEEE and WC's publication data mining and intelligent systems. She has served on as a faculty member at LUMS, visiting faculty at FAST, UCB, and GIFT. GIFT University teaching distributed systems, operating systems, databases, and as a CTO at LeapSoft, Dubai, Mint Rewards, UK, and Kaga Vision, she has shipped production AI, including RAG, chatbots, computer vision, and machine learning. Thank you for being with us, Saima. Thank you so much for taking out your time. It's a
Thank
kind of
you for
seriously
inviting
pleasure
me.
कि we have, you can say, एक ऐसा बंदा हमारे साथ join किया which have like experience in so much different prospects जो कि आप आलिया को भी I hope you'll be able to know कि किस तरह से आलिया ने काम किया and she actually looking forward to talk to you.
Sure, I'm also looking forward to talk to you guys.
Yes, thank you so much. So let me introduce RISE. It's a learner-focused digital coding school that is built around one simple belief that every learner deserves a personalized learning journey. Our programs are designed to make technology education fun, playful, practical, and tailored to each learner's individual goal, pace, interest, and prior experience. Here we offer 3 different streams. First one, we offer coding camps starting from age 6 till 18 years. We start with Scratch, then Python application development, game development. We have camps available on website development, AI, and machine learning. Next, the offering is we offer Skill Up program. And the idea behind our Skill Up programs began with an opportunity that completely transformed our vision. Alia actually played a very important role encouraging myself to launch this initiative by helping us connect with one of the madrasa in Rawalpindi. And among hundreds of learners, we carefully selected 7 highly motivated individuals from the completely non-technical background. Over a course of 6 months, we trained those learners on a full stack web development track, equipment them with the industry relevant technical skills through hands-on project and continuous mentorship. By the end of the program, इसी तरह की exhibition में one of the UK-based company came and hired those learners on paid internships on AI automation और उन लोगों ने AI automation सीखी. After that, मेरा you can say वो जो झाका था वो खुल गया and we launched further skill up programs and the ultimate goal was to equip those learners who don't have professional degrees in their hands कि वो हम उनको एक personalized ऐसा journey दें जिसकी basis पे they'll be able to get a skill and based on that skill they can earn or they can start a business, something like this. So उसके बाद we offered multiple skill up camps starting from graphic designing, digital literacy programs for girls in the rural areas of Pakistan, AI automation, prompt engineering, and many are in the pipeline as well. So, and the whole idea is that what makes the learning unique is that every learning plan is personalized. We don't follow a one size fits all curriculum. इस एग्जाम्पल आपको आलिया नजर आएंगी अभी कि we took her learning needs, her career goals, her industry experience, her pace, area of interest, and based on that, we actually customized a plan. So you can see कि अगर एक कैंप में 2 learners हैं तो they have different you can say projects, learning outcomes. And the third stream we offer at CS is CS tuitions, computer science tuitions, which means that we either it could be a core course in the domain of CS or elective. Elective course, we offer one-to-one mentorship. It could be in the form of project preparation or counseling or mentorship. So this is all. And the last thing that we offer at RISE, which is free of cost, is beyond teaching is mentorship. Mentorship for any learner in the domain of tech, in the domain of CS. So we are here to provide services. That's all. I hope you like it, Saima.
Rise is doing really great और माशाल्लाह बड़ा डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ जो है वो आप आई हैं स्पेशली जब मैं देखती हूँ कि डिफरेंट उसके जो क्लासेस हैं या लेवल्स हैं वो बहुत अच्छे डिफाइंड हैं माशाल्लाह.
Yes, thank you so much for your appreciation. Now I would like to ask Alia, can you please share your screen, introduce yourself, and start presenting? We would like to see your work.
Right. Thank you. A lot of pressure. And
It's totally
thank you
fine.
so
आप
much.
easy mode पे होके करें. No pressure at all.
And Saima, thank you so much for joining from the most beautiful place in the whole wide world, my favorite place. And please make dua that
Sure.
I get to visit, inshallah, very soon.
Inshallah.
It's you know, I've been to many countries in the world, but nothing compares to Medina. Nothing. So
I totally agree.
yes, and it's like, the minute I touch down in Medina, like I start feeling sad because I don't want to leave. So, you're very lucky. So, sorry, I'm getting emotional. Um, okay. All right. So, Hannah, you give me too much credit, but thank you for the introduction. I'm Alia Janjua, and thank you for making me 1 year younger. I'm actually 49 years old. I'll be hitting 50 in January, so I'll be entering a new decade very soon. I'm based in California, in San Francisco, and I'm currently a senior director at SS&C Technologies, which is a financial technology company. It's been around for over 4 decades. It's a leading company in the fintech space, and what we do is we provide software and services to anyone in the investment management industry. So, for example, brokers, traders, banks, hedge funds, anyone who focuses on investment management, they may use one of our products. And we're a global company. We have customers all over the world. And I will be celebrating my 26th year at SS&C Technologies coming October. And, an interesting fact about me is that I don't have a tech background, but I somehow landed in tech. My background is in liberal arts. So I graduated from university back in 1999. I got a degree in international relations and Japanese. And I thought that I would, somehow, be in the foreign services, maybe teach English in Japan. That was my path. But then I got married right outside of 2 years, 2 weeks outside of graduation, and I had to very quickly get a job, and somehow I landed, at SS&C Technologies over 26 years ago. And I never really considered myself as a technical person. I've always been that person who, leaned on others to do the tech stuff. So it was, I had a lot of imposter syndrome when I first joined the company. And still to this very day, I have a lot of imposter syndrome. I really don't believe that, I am technical enough because I don't have the background. And now, I've come to this point in my life right now where it's like I have to learn and adapt very quickly because, as the AI is like coming full force, and there has been so many job losses and layoffs, in the U.S., especially where I live. I live in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and this is where AI is like this is where it all began. And, right down the street from me is Anthropic, and, like, all the companies are here, and, um, already I'm hearing so much about, AI and how it's important to know AI, and a lot of companies are eliminating roles because they're investing in AI. And so I started having this anxiety attack, and I started panicking, and then I went to Hina, who, we have a connection through Tech Women. So along with, my, professional career, I have a deep, interest in mentorship. And, the reason why I got into mentoring is because, I didn't have a mentor growing up. Um, I had to figure out things on my own, and, I had to find people who could help me along the way. And I really do, I fully believe that mentors play a huge role in your success. And this is how I joined Tech Women. And I was a mentor with Tech Women for 10 years. And when I came across Hannah's profile, I had an opportunity to review all the profiles, for all the mentees who are participating in the program. Immediately Hannah immediately jumped out to me because of her background, and the a lot of the development that she does in like the coding space. And I really like the fact that she, was a mom, and she was running this coding school out of Bakasan. And so when, luckily we got matched. And so Hina came to San Francisco in 2024, and she spent 6 weeks at my company. And so I was able to, work with Hannah very closely, get to know more about her and her goals, and connect her with the resources in my network, so that, she uh, is able to have a good experience coming here. And one of the things that, Hannah really like, one of the first moments that I like remember about Hannah is that I would introduce Hannah to my coworkers, and then they would extend their hands, and Hannah would and Hannah would kind of look at them and like, I'm Hannah. And and so I remember like my coworkers like, oh, she doesn't shake hands. I'm like, no, she doesn't. And that's where like I was so um inspired by Hannah, because Hannah is someone who, has strong values, right? And it just came throughout the experience. One thing that I learned about Hannah is that she can execute. I have mentored many women through the Tech Women program, but no one stands out like Hannah, because when she has a vision, she will get it done. And it's been amazing to see, how Rise has come through this whole experience. And it's all Hannah. Hannah is like, she just has such drive. And, she I've mentored other people, in Tech Women, and I've also mentored other women from Pakistan as well. But Hina is like someone who truly cares. And, she that's exactly the type of person that Tech Women should have selected, right? Like someone who wants to, gain all these skills, and then, give back to their community. And she was doing that. Like, so when she came to me about the idea about, working with the madrasa, I was like, wow, that's exactly what, Pakistan needs. And she did it, like I can just count on her to do things, and she just gets things done. That's what Hannah is. She's a boss lady. Um, so, and then like, I'm also a mom. I have 3 children. My oldest is 25. He just got married this year. I have a 22-year-old daughter, and I have an 18-year-old son who I will also be putting through Hannah's camp. He will be joining tomorrow as well. And one of the things that I, like doing is I love fashion. I love traveling. This is a picture of me in Cambodia. And as I mentioned earlier, I was having a lot of anxiety about, AI and just being left behind because I don't have a technical background. And I just started seeing the writing on the wall that I have to like, get comfortable with it. I have to start somewhere. And, I tried doing it on my own. I tried going through like tutorials, I went to YouTube, etc. And it just wasn't it was overwhelming. Like, I needed that coach, and, which is why, like, I went to Henna and I said, "Hey, can you give me a workshop, a camp? I wanna, get comfortable with AI." And I was very fortunate to be paired with Anka, who has not only been like my teacher, but has become my mentor and my therapist, and among so many things, right? Like the whole, point about personalizing the experience, like, that was so necessary for me because I had so much anxiety, with learning AI, and so much, again, the imposter syndrome. And Anka was like that person who just kept, you know, um, encouraging me, and she helped me believe in myself, and she was such a great teacher, and I would have never gotten that. Like, I would have never gotten this here. Like, there's so much training here in the US, but I really believe in Hannah's mission, and I am like, I will I will promote Rise to everybody, and, which is why I'm gonna have my son join as well. All right, so that's me. Should we get to the next slide? Okay, so when I came to Hannah, I mentioned to her that I was interested in AI, and I don't have a tech background. Like I said, I have a liberal arts background, but I wanted to start somewhere, and Hannah came back to me and she mentioned that, let's get you started with N8N. And I had no idea what N8N was. Like, it was completely new to me. And it was great because I felt like it was kind of the foundation to help my brain start thinking, and to start thinking in different concepts, right? Like, for example, just like I liked how, like, the structure was of the entire workshop, where, initially it was like, okay, start with introduction, start with simple exercises so that you can get the juices going in the brain. And then, gradually with each challenge, it became more complex. And so when I first, when the first challenge was like just the introduction to N8N, and what does it mean to like automate things? What does it mean to like have a human, be hands off? And so it was really exciting for me to see, like, just like kind of enter into that mindset of like automation, and also know that, like, I don't have to be technical, right? I don't, one thing about AI is that it's kind of eliminated the whole barriers um, you know, of coding. You don't need to be a coder. You can, as long as you can, speak English, you can assign tasks, and tell it to do things, and to produce results. And so just for me to kind of see that, was really amazing to kind of like, oh, and then when I started learning N8N, like, I would tell people like, oh, I'm learning N8N, and they look at me like, what is that? So it was really good for me to start with this. So the first task that, as I mentioned, was just getting started, right? And so in this first challenge, it's what does it mean to like schedule a trigger? So if I want to send a message to my team, which I do on a normal basis, like, if I wanted to send an automated message at every, 8 o'clock every morning, how would I do that? And so this is, where I, like I got into N8N, the tool, and then I learned about the concept of triggers. Like, you can schedule a trigger at an assigned time, and then you can, send a message to, anything, whether it's like Slack or Microsoft Teams. And then for the second challenge, it went a little, one step further. And this is very relevant to, what I do, right? So, for example, um, um, when like I work in customer support, and we have customers who always reach out to the support team and they ask for help. So in this challenge, it was nice for me to see, like, okay, when a customer reaches out, um, like they usually, submit a form, and in this challenge, I learned the concept of form, how to create a form, how to, ask questions, and then once that form is submitted, so when a customer reaches out, then an email gets sent to, the support team, so that same inquiry then gets forwarded to the support team. So I learned, like, you can, like, connect a form into email as well. And then I also learned the concept of, like, okay, so because I want this to be a repeatable task, I learned the whole concept, like, of variables and data. And so, for example, in this task, I could learned, okay, I can, whenever, like, I can personalize the emails as well, whenever, like, the whenever, like, the form is submitted and an email gets sent to the customer support team, I can see that, okay, like, um, oh, this is going really fast. Okay, sorry. Let's see. I went back quickly. Hold on. Um, okay. So, so that we started with a simple challenge, and then the second one was like, okay, setting up the sending an email to the support team. So that was like what so again, like for this first challenge, it was a great way for me to learn about the basics, and then how to break down an automation statement into different, like, into different steps.
Yeah.
And then like my favorite part was just like how things get done, independently across systems without even my involvement. And then one of the challenging things, I mean, this is where I felt like I wish I could have just implement in my own workplace. I mean, because of security reasons, I cannot implement N8N into my workplace. We're in fintech, so to get clearance for that, it would have been difficult. So I had to, like, figure out, behind the scenes and how to do it. But again, like, it was good for me to understand these concepts, because these concepts, even if I, apply another tool, I could apply the same concepts, in my workplace as well. All right, so that was challenge number 1, and then, we continue to build upon as we went through the workshop. We, started getting into, some advanced topics. So the next challenge was like, and this is again, like, very relevant to what I do, which is if there's, a job application is getting submitted, and automating the um, sending an email of the applicant's details to the hiring manager, and then saving it to a Google spreadsheet. So in this challenge, this built upon, like, okay, you could do one workflow, but then you can also do parallel tasks, right? So you can, in this case, like, there were two tasks that were being completed with the trigger. The first was like, okay, the application is submitted, and then I learned about, like, um, you could also email the application details to the hiring manager and then save it to a Google spreadsheet. So two tasks could be completed at once. And in this case, like, I was able to see that I didn't have to do these things consecutively. It could be done, in one go. And that was really cool for me to see that. And then to build upon that, there was also the introduction of, an if statement. So, for example, in this second task right here is that, okay, um, you know, if I was a business owner, if I wanted to check my inventory, I could set it up so that I can be notified when stock levels are down. So again, like, I had the trigger, I had the inventory list, and then here I could check to see, if my inventory was running low. If it was running low, then I could, send an email. If like this in this task, there was this introduction of, of the if statement. So if in this case, if the inventory was lower, then it would send an email. If it wasn't, then if it was healthy, it was just like sending a message, to my to me that the stock levels are healthy. So again, like this is like a good way for me to see like, okay, you could use N8N, when you're running a business, right? So if you wanted to keep track of inventory, you could do that. Also, you can use it for like, hiring, right? So I was able to see that as well. In the next challenge, this was good for me because again, like this was also it kind of helped me see like what happens, on at Rise, right? Like whenever um, there's a learner who is interested in taking one of, Rise's workshops, what does that workflow look like and what does it mean for Hina and her team? And this is, this could be automated behind the scenes. And so even with this, it was like this was a challenge where, I was creating workflow that was notifying if a student is interested in a workshop, a learner reaches out to Rise, and then two things can happen simultaneously. Like, an email will get sent to um, the CEO, and then also an email to, to uh, the learner as well. And in this case, like, what I also learned with this challenge is that I had to set up the Google authentication. So um, because like you're connecting it to these different nodes, like I had to like give it access to my Google, and this is why I think some of the resistance, like I couldn't have done this at my company, but I was able to see like, okay, if I gave the authentication, I could have it just connect to my Gmail and and send these emails. Um, so one of the nice thing about this is like it was really fun for me to see like act the emails coming through just to kind of see the result. I think that's like always like the fun part, like seeing that it actually worked, that there weren't any issues. So that was good. All right, and then for the next
Can you,
exercise, yes,
sorry, can we please pause for 1 minute? Sorry.
sure.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, please continue.
Okay. And then in this fourth challenge, we spent time on data types and the different data formats. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't have, a tech background, but I've heard of the terms like JSON. I hear those terms being thrown out around a lot when I'm talking to developers. And it was really cool for me to learn more about JSON and what that is and like the different variable data types. And in this challenge, I got to see like I got to be a detective, and in this one where, I was telling N8N to execute, like to fetch an email. And then when I fetched the email, I was able to see like the different um, uh, data types. And in this case, like, oops, sorry, it went back. Hold on just a second. So I learned about the different data types. So for example, so when I fetched the email, I was able to see like, what I was able to learn what a string is, which is, usually it's within quotations, and I was able to copy all that data into into this worksheet, and I learned about arrays and numbers and um, objects. And the reason why I was saying that it felt like a treasure hunt, because it's like a lot of these, there's so much nesting that happens. And it was, really interesting for me to see like, okay, working with Anka, she told me about like, okay, this is, here's a tip for you to, here's like this is how you can like figure out like, okay, if you wanted to see like a data type for a certain object, this is what you would do. And so that was, really cool. Like I felt like, okay, finally, like, I'm kind of like breaking down the walls of like, how coding works, and what data types look like. So I really enjoy this exercise. It was fun for me to see that.
Well,
And then yes.
just a comment.
Uh-huh.
Um, I- it doesn't seem that you're a non-tech person. You're using the tech terms continuously. So I think you are now a tech person.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, talking about is one thing, but understanding it is another, right? So, you can talk about it, and being in my role, like I'm a generalist, and I have to like know the general, the basics of everything. But my issue is that when because like I, whenever like, conversations go deeper, that's when I'm like, okay, that's when I like start panicking, and I start getting very critical. But overall, like, I mean, yeah, the general concept of JSON, like, again, like I've heard like, oh, JSON this, and it's like, but now it's like, oh, that's what JSON is, it's like
Yes.
these different outputs. So, but uh, yeah, I
Okay.
think I've learned to become like, like faking it. I guess that's what you can say. Um, all right. So, and then the final project, I mean, that was just putting everything together, right? So in this final project, it was kind of like putting everything together from A to Z. Like it was a good way for me to recall what I learned from the very beginning. This whole like, okay, how, creating a form. And in this task, this project was, okay, like again, using Rise's example, a learner is interested in taking one of the camps, creating the form, the questions, and then once the form is submitted, the learner's profile is created, and then that profile is then saved to a Google Drive, and then that profile is also like, the information is also updated in a document. And then and all of this is happening together. And then once that's updated, like there's an email that gets sent to the learner about like, hey, like here's you've this is the workshop that you're interested in. And we didn't have time. We were actually going to add one more step, which is creating a Google invite, a calendar, but we didn't get to that point. But an email gets sent to the learner as well as to the CEO. So like this last project was, it was good for me to like, go all the way back, to start from the very beginning, and then like, just see how putting it all together and coming up with this longer workflow, and including all the different concepts that I learned. For example, like parallel, and like um, uh, uh, you know, updating things, like just kind of, it was good for me to just see the entire workflow in place. So that was the final project.
Okay, great.
And then, so you know as a result of this whole experience, and you called it Sima, actually, like you said, Alia, you're still pretty technical, the terms. Um, but but this, in a way, like just going through this process, like I think we are our biggest enemy, and I think for me, my fear and anxiety was just really um preventing me from like just believing in myself. And this whole experience has taught me that, I do know these concepts. I can still speak to it. And but overall, I think the biggest takeaway from this whole experience was the confidence boost. I needed someone to, give me like like a talking to, like somebody who just kind of like like shakes you and it's like, stop it, you're good, you've got it. And I felt like, that's what I needed. I think women are so hard on themselves. They're perfectionists. They want to do everything right. And I am very hard on myself, and I'm like, um, I'm someone who, even like when I work with a lot of men, and, I've talked to Anka about this too. Like I work with a lot of men, and white men, who are very confident, and, they say things like, even though they may not know everything, but they say it with such confidence and conviction. Like, I'm not like that, right? And every time I would hear them talk about it, I would just like start feeling small, and like start feeling like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. They're going to like fire me. They're going to lay me off because I don't know this stuff. And like just, we focused on like the concepts in the program, but then Anka also like helped me see my own potential and help me believe in myself, which is something that I really needed. There were many moments where I was, feeling really down, and uncertain about things. And we are in a very uncertain time, but it's good to just like for me, what I've learned is that it's just like when you start learning something, when you pick up something new, like immediately, like your confidence changes, right? Like you just, something gets changed. And like that's why like I really like believe um in Hannah's vision of like upscaling women, because women, I think in particular, men are, they don't have this issue. They can very confidently say, give bad information, but women, it's just, they wanna be right, they wanna, like, be experts in things, and they need that boost, they need that confidence boost to, help them see their own potential. And, like, they need a safe space where you can have these conversations, and where, like, you have that guide who's helping you, and, like, holding your hand in the journey. And, like, that's what Anka was for me. And, so even though, like, yeah, would I call myself an expert? No, but, do I know enough where I can, like, talk a little bit about it? Yeah, but has it done a lot for my confidence? Absolutely. It was probably one of the best things that I did, this year. So alhamdulillah for this experience. And I've signed up for the next camp now, so I'm gonna learn Claude Code, so it's like I'm just gonna keep going, and do, just trying different things, so that the learning journey doesn't stop. One thing that I've realized now that we're in this new world is that it never ends. Like you just have to keep growing and keep learning, and you can't like just sit in a corner and not do anything. You have to do something about it. And so I was fortunate enough to, to have Rise help me along the way.
Thank you so much, Alia. Such a powerful show, a wonderful ending, and such a really, you can say, constructive project. So thank you so much for this wonderful camp, for having with us. Now over to you, Saima.
Ji, thank you, Alia. It was really great. The way you presented the things and also the way you dare to say honestly the things honestly. So I really appreciate that. If you have the audacity to actually accept and be honest with you, uh, it's the one of the best qualities you have actually. So about the project, I would like to ask you some questions. What was your expectation and motivation before starting this camp? That what was your starting point and what will be your end point after this workshop?
So my expectation was to learn about automation and you know, um, to dip my fingers in what how automation works. I mean, I work in tech, and I hear about automation all the time, about scripting and, like, getting the software to automate things. But I didn't I didn't really know, like, oh, you can automate across systems. You can set something up and it just runs on its own without, across like Google and like Teams, and it can do multiple things at one time. So that's something that I didn't like. I'd heard about it, but I didn't really understand how it worked. And so, initially, like, when I didn't know it was gonna start out with N8N. Like, I was like, "What is N8N?" And then when I started learning about it, and then it's funny because I went into Claude and I asked about, like, "Oh, with, someone who has 26 years of fintech experience, blah, 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 how should they learn about AI?" And it came back with the answer of, like, "Oh, you should start with N8N." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, that's exactly why I'm starting with N8N, right? Um, and I know, like, this is a stepping stone. Like, for me, like, it was a good way for me to understand concepts, right? Like, there's nodes. There's these different nodes. You can set up these, parameters, and, like, you can schedule things, and you can, like, customize it, and then and so I think just understanding that, like, getting a little bit deeper. Like, I wasn't expecting that at all. I was just thinking, like, "Oh, okay, there might be some AI here." But then in the end, it's like, "Okay, oh, so this is helping me open up my brain to understand, like, how nodes work, how you can, like, so the concepts, and then I could use this as a foundation to, go to the next thing, so, um my expectation was
Okay.
not to become, like, this automation expert, more of, like, okay, just like, दिमाग को खोलना. I think that दिमाग
Mhm.
थोड़ा सा, it needed like a like
Mhm.
it needed like an opening, so I think
Mhm.
that's what helped in this situation.
Okay. So in your organization, in daily tasks, do you have do you think it will be helpful for you to apply some of the automation workflow now?
Yes, I mean, it's I mean, I'm my role is more of a people manager, leader, and I'm, doing a lot of things where I'm, like, meeting with people, coaching, looking at projects, talking to customers. But yes, there are certain things, like, for example, I mean, there is a big push right now in my company to adopt AI and, use Claude, right? So, like, they've started giving out some Claude licenses. Um, fintech is an industry that's very slow to adopt because of security reasons. You probably know this, Saima. Like even like with hosting, cloud hosting, we were kind of slow to adopt because like a lot of the banking industry, is hesitant. But that has shifted now, right? I think, hosting um, um, cloud services is becoming like the norm now. It's the expectation. Now it's about like, AI, and the company really wants to create more efficiency. And in the end, they just want to, reduce headcount. That's how they're going to save money. And so they are pushing for, development, the engineering group to use more like GitHub Copilot. They're using, Claude Code, and we have our own Bedrock, Amazon Bedrock. Um, and, they tried to keep it very like LLMs. They have an in-house LLM. They don't want us to go, take information out because we're dealing with sensitive data. So they are pushing, people to use like more AI, but they're also trying to figure it out, what their approach is. They don't really understand like the cost that's involved. So, you know, I mean, they're trying because like they have to prove to the market and to like the board that, oh, we're doing things about AI, like we are, but then like they haven't figured out like, oh, all these tokens, this is going to cost us a lot. So they're kind of in this like in between stage because they have to prove a point to the industry that we are modern and we're advancing forward, but at the same time, like I don't think they've come up with like, use cases of like, okay, this is how AI is going to save us money. However, like, we have a knowledge base where, we document all of our issues. And my boss told us that like he just they purchased the AI capability of that where, you could use AI to search the KB articles, the knowledge base articles, and try to come up with a resolution. So they're really trying to like do more. But I think for me, like the reason why I signed up for the Claude Code camp with Rise is that I just applied for a Claude Code license at work and they finally gave it to me. And I know like because like other people are using, even though they might be building things that are not like that important, but for me to but just show that, hey, I'm doing it too. Like I'm not like sitting in my corner and just be like, I don't want to do this. I have to like show that like even when they're talking about it, right? Like I have to show that like, oh, okay, I could do this too. I could like vibe code. I could do all this stuff too. So it's just more of
Mhm.
like I don't, there's certain things that I don't think I can really automate, but there's I mean maybe a couple things that I could. So hopefully with
Mhm.
the Claude Code, like because I just got the license, it could be like a real time experience. Like maybe, Anka could help me like, you know, create like something that I can go back because they're giving Cloud Code licenses, but they're also asking everybody to showcase what they've done. How have they created more
Mhm.
efficiency? And like the general manager, has this meeting with like 200 people, and it's kind of like this whole like, you know, show of
Mhm.
like, oh, look what I just created. I'm so smart, like look how much I'm doing. So it's this really weird competitive environment right now where everyone's trying to prove
Mhm.
their worth because they're
Mhm.
so worried about getting eliminated. That's like the
Mhm.
weird survival. It's like a survival mode right now.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
So I understand the challenge you're facing at the moment, which actually many of us are like, uh, even in technology world, many of us are facing the same challenge. When you started, you said that okay, I was very anxious about what is the AI and what when I started my journey with AI, so when this paradigm shift was happening and is happening, so we face the same fear every day. It's not something that um, you are facing. It's a global challenge because things are changing day by day. In
very
next
quickly.
12 months, things will change. The way they are today will not be in next 12 months. So
Right.
um, so this fear is with all of us. Even even if you ignored the factor of elimination, still AI is everywhere, and every person is using AI in at his own level. So it's good that you are interested in adapting the AI technologies and stuff like that, but it will become the need in the coming time. So just forget about that. It is for your elimination fear. It is the need of the time. So I really appreciate that Anka, you started from the right basics. I'm happy that you started with the right basics and the right thing. So if you start thinking how you can dissect a smaller workflow and then you translate it into an automated workflow, you can you will be getting the basics or the very base of the AI, or what you can say. But in general terms, I would like to say that AI is just like human brain, unfortunately. We have developed, fortunately or unfortunately. So the way we think, we process, we think the idea, we think, and then we process the data, and then we react to that according to that data is total AI. So nothing to be feared about. Um, it's just like that you entered in the world. You entered in the world of AI by learning this very basic concept of workflow. So what I would like you to understand, it's good that we know the workflow, but for the next course, which is Claude Code, even um, you can divide Claude Code usage in at different levels. You can start from basic level and then you can go further advanced level. In a fintech, for a fintech people management leadership, I think there should be an advanced level of AI learning. And Claude Code has not only Claude Code. Make yourself comfortable with different AI tools. They work the same way. They get the input, they process it, and they give the output. This is the whole concept of our
Right.
working, and this is the whole concept of AI. So how
Right.
does so at the and eventually, if you will be interested in building some AI system, even then these three things: input something, process the existing data, and input, and get the output. So it is as simple as it is. So for you, the challenge is that when people uh, discuss about AI, so you need to understand that at what level of terminologies knowledge you are at. So this is a very correct basic understanding through this workshop, but I think you will be needing more uh, what you call more depth in the knowledge, and which I'm pretty sure that I must say that you're an intelligent person, um, because without intelligence, Anka is agreeing with me, I think. So so I just evaluated it through your presentation and the way you put things. So it will not be very hard for you, but you need to set your levels. Step by step, you can get the higher level. Once you have the workflow, you know that how can you automate things. But this seems very academic to me. So, but it is also very important for you to understand how actually the things work. But for me, AI is three-step thing, which I already told you. So, uh, try to improve my feedback is that try to improve your prompts to your conversation with the computer.
Yes.
Forget about okay, if we are talking and we are talking like, hello, I am
Yes.
Saima Mushtaq, and then let the other person process the rest of the information, what will be the processed information we get. So try to improve your conversation in a structured way. Hello, I
Yes.
am Saima Mushtaq. I'm a computer scientist. I introduce myself as a computer scientist. I graduated from FAST Lahore. So this is some information I'm giving to your brain so that
Right.
your brain can process that information, and then you will give some output through talking, or so that you can actually um have conversation with me. So if I'm a person and you're an AI system, this is the same way you will be working or talking to or having conversation with the AI
Right.
system. So this is something you very easy to understand for me when I started this thing for myself. So there are different there are three different levels. I will split it for yourself. One is talking to the AI system, talking to another person. Like I'm talking to Anka, I'm talking to Hina, I'm talking to Alia. So
Right.
they are processing information, and they are responding to me. This is one level. We have to achieve this level for the conversation, or for the understanding, or for the improvement of the communication to AI systems. At the second level, there is some programming. So with AI, we can say that technical persons and non-technical persons both can program the things. So this is the second level. On the
Right.
third level, people who actually develop these AI systems. So I think for you, the first and the second level will be sufficient to outperform the people who are actually just using terms. Not if you were talking about the people, you think that they know many terms and they know very well about AI system, or until a person who has built an AI system even smaller. Uh, it
Yes.
is hard to say that you actually know what is working behind. But for me, when so I will share this for you that when I started in AI domain, um, I started with simpler things. It was simple concepts like you have done in this camps, but then eventually I learned the conversation. Eventually I learned I shifted from self programming to automated programming. So I was a programmer before that, I was a leader before that, I was a CTO, or my role, so I shifted that to conversating with AI uh, tools. One thing is tool, and then the third is was my work that I was building AI systems. I was supervising them, building them, and then I hope this conversation um, will be processed in your mind and you will get a good output. So this is my feedback about your presentation, about your concepts, and about the way forward, the roadmap for you to learn this for yourself and for your job duties.
Simon, thank you so much. This was like the best feedback I've received, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
And what you said about like just understanding where, you know, where I should be. And it's funny that you say this about prompting, like how to be a better prompter and how to ask, good questions. This is something that my boss keeps saying too. Like, you know, AI is only useful um, with the prompts that you use, right? Um, and having that conversation and asking things and keep asking, like this is what troubleshooting is all about, which is like my background in tech support. Um, I don't need to have like this, a computer science or a technical background. So like that was really, that was very on point what you said to me. And then you're right, like, I'm not gonna be developing tools. I'm not gonna be making systems, developing systems, but I'll probably be programming them, which is like, understanding what the business requirements are and then putting something in place to, help achieve those business requirements, which is like the option number 2. So that was really on point. Like, these are the 2 areas that I should be focusing on because initially before, like, I was just lost. Like, do I need to know how to code now? Do I need to know every single thing? And there's just too much information out there. It's very easy to get overwhelmed and completely like paralyzed, I mean, I have like friends who work in tech too. Like one friend's like, "Oh, I'm teaching myself Cursor." And I'm like, "Oh, should I be learning Cursor?" You know how like everybody keeps like sharing these information like, "मुझे भी ये
Yeah.
करना चाहिए. Oh, मुझे भी करना चाहिए." And then they were like, you start, "Oh my God, this is too much." So I have to have a reality check of like, who am I? What's my identity? What do I want to accomplish? What's in my you know, capabilities, right? Because I think my capability, yes, I can have a conversation. How do I have a better conversation? I can do that. I don't need to like, you know, be a coder and developer, or create new products. That's not my wheelhouse. So this was very, very good feedback. Thank you so much, Saima.
Thank
You
you.
really
Thank you.
like you
I
really
hope.
simplified it. You really like broke it down like it just like you got an input and you got an output. That's all that is. That's what AI is. So
Yeah.
So much,
yeah.
Saima, for your insights. We'll definitely try to use these things and use your insights in the camp plan while designing the camp plan for Alia. So thank you so much.
Sure.
I feel
Thank
like
you.
मैं इस time
Thank
दो
you.
mentors के सामने बैठी हूँ and I'm learning a lot. So it's a good thing for myself as well. Thank you, both of you. So now we have a surprise for
Thank
Alia.
you.
Zuhaib, can you please move to the next slide? So first of all, we have the
Oh,
camp completion certificate for Alia. Yay!
Uh,
Alia successfully completed.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on completing AI automation camp. Yes. And the
thank
next,
you.
we have a title for you that is being designed by the whole team, Anka especially. And that is actually around the personality you have. So I actually know why she has given the title, but I would like to Anka to please unmute yourself and आपने क्यों टाइटल दिया है ये आलिया को? Yes.
Um, First of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and
Walaikum
thank
salam.
you, thank you so much for joining our exhibition. We're honestly really honored to have you, Saima, as a
Thank
guest,
you.
and thank you for the acknowledgement that you gave me about my teaching approach. I honestly really appreciate it as an AI systems architect. This means a lot to me, and it just feels like I got a pat on the back. So jazakallah khairan kaseeran.
Thank
Uh,
you.
And I think I don't really need to explain why I gave Alia the title of Wonder Woman. It's given how much you understood Alia in this very uh, deep, exhibition conversation. But it's very clear from day one to the last day. Given her corporate job, she used to start from 5 a.m. in the morning, and every single day she used to work 5 a.m. in the morning and end around in the afternoon, evening. And then after finishing her job with managing her family, she used to take this class. And I don't know how she used to operate. And some days her mind would not be working, but she would still try her best to be active and learn. And she'd be facing anxiety some days, which is, very valid. If I was in her place and I'd be surrounded by people who were, flexing their technical abilities, and I'd also be intimidated. But still, despite her anxiety, despite her hectic schedule, and in such a big position, she'd show up in class, she'd show up with her fears. And somebody said, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is fear walking. And she used to walk her fear. She used to keep on coming back to the class, keep on learning, keep on getting out of her comfort zone. And this is why I call her a Wonder Woman. And this is why I feel inspired. And she mentored me as much as she says I mentored her. So yeah, you're a Wonder Woman.
That's a two-way process. That always a two-way process.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of overlapping going on in the mentorship.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, so thank you so
It's
much for being
powerful.
with us, Alia,
Thank
Saima.
you, Saima. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
kind of
much.
Wonderful conversation.
Thank you so much. You are a Wonder Woman, and you have been a wonderful presenter as well. So thank you for your time. Thank you, Hina, for inviting me.
you.
Thank you, Anka. It
Thank
was
you,
nice talking to all
Anka.
of you.
So much. Thank you. And
Thank
keep
you.
remember us in prayers, Ms. Saima,
Yes,
please.
please,
Sure,
please.
sure,
Remember us.
sure. Inshallah, I will be praying by name for all of you. Inshallah, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. And Allah
Thank
Hafiz.
you.
Allah
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.